Hello friends and welcome to a best of 5 between Maxpax and Cure, some of the highest level Protoss versus Terran you can currently wish for. I believe Maxpax right at this moment is the best PvT player in the world again. He's been having a bit of an upswing over the past 2-3 weeks. Post EWC, Maxpax has been showing some great signs of improvement, different types of strategies in different matchups, and Cure has been fairly stable, honestly, over the past few months, showing some stellar understanding of this matchup. Now, what are we gonna see here? This is... Ooh. Cure is playing a build that shows a level of confidence that I don't feel entirely comfortable with. I feel like no one should be allowed to be this confident against Maxpax that you go single gas, Reaper, double Marine into CC. Like, this is some high level stuff, okay? This is pretty much the most standard build that you can play. The most standard. I don't think there's anything more standard in the world. Ooh, that's a double shot! It's been attacked by a probe as well. Yeah. This is one of the reasons why this build is so hard to use, because those first adapts can be so tricky to deal with. Like, the amount of players I've just seen die against the first two adapts of Maxpax is insane. So, seeing Cure try it and then failing is pretty crazy. Loses a Reaper here as well. These adepts really are just here to trade, by the way. They don't really need to stay alive. Like, if you can keep them alive, great for you, but you don't really have to. Follow-up here is going to be triple CC into Cyclone or tank. Could be... Oh, it's gonna be tank first. I really like what Cure is doing here, by the way. I think this is extremely cool. So, Maxpax is known to play 3-gate plus Robo, these big prism-based attacks. And what does Cure do as a response? He says, hey, I'm gonna get a much faster 3rd CC than you, and also, I want the perfect defense, so I'm going to have 2, maybe even 3 tanks ready by the time you blink in. Good luck getting any damage done, buddy. You can't. I'm too powerful. And of course, Maxpax doesn't know any of that. Look at what Maxpax knows. Maxpax sees a barracks with a reactor. What does that tell you? That there's going to be Marines. That is not a huge revelation, because there's always going to be Marines. Even if they play mech, there's going to be Marines. Like, every day of the week, there will be Marines. So far, Maxpax has seen nothing that is interesting. He's going to need to make a decision right now. Will he keep any amount of Stalkers at home? Or is he going to send everything across the map? He just doesn't see anything. No Mine Drop, no Raven, no Banshee, no nothing. As he moves a little bit further forward with these 5 Stalkers. Blink is about to finish up. And 5 Stalkers indeed will move across the map right now. Nexus coming down as well. Double pylons. This thing is already done, pumping triple mules right now into the natural. First tank is in position, second tank is in position, and I think the 3rd tank should maybe be going over here. I don't entirely know what you want to do, but look at this setup. This is such an odd setup that Cure has got going for himself. That's Maxpax's plan. If Maxpax jumps onto this tank, he's going to tank quite a bit of damage here. Ooh, big blink in forward. That's going to cost Maxpax 4 Stalkers at once, maybe even 5. 4 Stalkers did go down, kills a tank. That is probably not good enough, however. A neat setup here for Cure, who should understand that most likely something's going to be happening in his main base. That is the standard follow-up for Maxpax. Extra gas is being taken right now as well. 47 workers, the 45 as a new depot comes down. And we have the 4 Stalkers blinking in towards the main. Gonna get a couple of SCV kills here. So that is something for Max. 4 SCVs will go down. You know, he makes a decent situation out of what should have been an awful situation, but it's still not great. It's still not great. Right now we have 3 tanks that are done. Charge will be the follow-up. +1 started as well. But the eco is just heavily in Cure's favor at the moment. I'd love to see, yeah, these extra barracks coming down as well. So Cure's infrastructure is kicking off. Maxpax's infrastructure is also kicking off, but this should be better for Maxpax in a normal game, in a standard game. In a game where he's ahead, he should be looking much, much better. 4 Stalkers now probably want to go into the natural. We'll get another worker kill, at least 1. There we go. If he hadn't misfired there the first shot, he would have gotten 2. And Maxpax is king of these types of moves, by the way. Like, blinking in forward, getting a kill and a half. He's really, really solid when it comes to that. As these Stalkers now moving in forward, we'll get another 2 Marines as well. He is so efficient with these Stalkers usually. So that first blink in, losing 4 Stalkers for a single tank. That was it was a controversial move. It's gonna get scanned. There you go. Oh, Max! Too fast. No, he's not. Cure still managing to get it, but quick response there out of Maxpax. As this orbital now under some heavy fire. Prism with the Zealots wanting to go into the natural as well. Storm on the way. No fort base quite yet, which is interesting. Usually if you see a fast third, you want to pump out a fort ASAP as a Protoss player. Protoss is kind of what Zerg used to be, where you really want to dominate the mid game with a high base count. So you want to be ahead of base at all times, pretty much. When your opponent is on 2, you want to be on 3. When they get their third, your fort needs to be done. At the same time, we have a Zealot attack now into the main. Couple of Zealots dropped into the natural. Rest runs into the main. Cure is just going to continue moving out. Storm hasn't quite finished up yet, and we hardly have any units at home. Double Medivacs are going to boost across. We'll get cleared here by the Stalkers. Oh, actually, we'll survive here. And a Storm isn't quite done yet. This is starting to feel a little bit scary. Let's see. Does Cure have the time to snipe these Templars? No, he doesn't. Storm now completed as he runs into the natural. Tanks in the back will help targeting down some of these key units as he walks onto the main base. Kind of creating a funnel here. Lots of Templars going down at the same time. No Templars remain, but majority of the bio also gets taken out. 7 workers have fallen and more will continue going down here. This is kind of a weird choke point that Maxpax has created for his own Zealots. Can't really run through that. Great fight for Cure. 17 probes going down. Has superior upgrades going up behind this. And this fort base now in some trouble as well. What's in the prism? There's nothing in the prism. There is nothing in this prism. That means no Templar, no Storms, no nothing. Cure taking out his base. Throws his own fort base down instantly. And I'm waiting for the Ghost Academy behind all of this. Get a feedback. The feedback is kind of like a weak attack. Yeah, it's frustrating when it happens, but it's not like, oh no. It's like when you're getting ready to fight someone with the fist and he spits at you. It's like, it's kind of disgusting, but I'm about to punch you in the face, so you gotta do better than that. So now we're gonna get some Storms here. That's gonna be similar to a real punch. Marauder does go down, and this push most likely is gonna get pushed back. Which is important, but at the same time, like, this was not a well-orchestrated push here anymore in the end out of Cure. Cure pretty much said, hey, I killed so much, I believe I can just rally across the map and ruin your life. And he got pretty freaking close to ruining his life. Like, he ruined his life, alright? Maxpax isn't out yet, but his life is, he's pretty much ruined. We're gonna get the extra barracks out right now, adding in more mines. Like, we actually have an army that skills slightly better for Cure. If I'm being real honest, especially once we get the Ghost included as well, we're going to have 8 barracks, nice infrastructure. We're going to go for better upgrades too, like +2 attack is coming in. That is just off a single forge, man. That is awful. He's going to be down by 2 upgrades once 2-2 finishes for the Terran. So there's weirdly some pressure on Maxpax here to perform. While Cure is getting up a fort base. I'm not sure if Maxpax can get this up. His own fort, like if Cure decides to push across the map, but Maxpax is the one that thinks he can be aggressive. Maybe he's right. Immortals are dealing quite a bit of damage against these Immortals. Prism, meanwhile, in the natural, into the main base. Big warping comes in. A couple of workers falling here as well. Maxpax pushing through, dealing a lot of damage. Oh my. Oh my, oh my. The best defense is a good offense, and Maxpax is taking that quite seriously. As he kills 18 SCVs, Zealots absolutely everywhere. A moves into the natural as well at the same time. As 20 SCVs now have fallen, this orbital command is about to burst into flames as well. Still have 2 Immortals. These guys have dealt a lot of damage. 9 kills and 3. A lot of that are going to be Marauder kills. I think Maxpax just accidentally wins the game here. When I say accidentally, it feels accidental for Cure, but this was a very well executed attack here. Coming out of Maxpax into what almost felt like an impossible situation, but he just kind of runs in there, hits at 5 angles at the same time, and Cure just not fast enough to deal with all of it. Maxpax has his fort up and running, has his 10 gateways, +2 about to finish up. 2-2 hasn't even started here for Cure. Cure's gonna go for a desperation attempt right now, but he's working with a single medevac. Gonna need more nurses for this battered army, my friend. Because this ain't looking good. Not a single EMP available. Like, these ghosts, they don't really count at this point. They're glorified Marauders. A little bit more damage. But they're going to be capable of sniping, but there's no EMPs. That means that storms are going to be a valuable tool. Here comes one storm on top of these Marines. A single stim is going to damage his army even further, and 2 more stormers are running in forward. Maxpax with an absolutely insane comeback here in this game on Tokamak wins game number 1. That game was actually so cool to me for 2 reasons. Reason number 1 is that Cure had a very well-prepared build order specifically for Maxpax. Like the tank triple CC. I think that is such a cool build order, and I don't quite understand how Maxpax wants to deal with that in the future. And then the comeback out of Maxpax there, to me, seems, I mean, clinically insane. If someone would have predicted that type of comeback, you'd laugh at them, because it's a ridiculous thing. Like, I think the winning percentages at that point are close to like 95 for Cure in that situation with 2 equally skilled players. I really do believe that. This is an awful start, by the way, for Maxpax. Sends his first Zealot across the map, loses it to the Reaper. Marine as the follow-up. And yeah, this is just not good. This is as bad as a start can be for Maxpax. The Zealot early run-ins, they're kind of cool, and they definitely have a function in this matchup. The problem with them is that you're cutting off like a worker and a half. It does delay your attack a little bit. You can see this Twilight Council is not as quick as it usually would be. And all of that type of stuff is definitely an issue. We're going to go in with both of these Adepts. Going to kill one SCV. This Reaper is going to take a freaking beating too. Control here this time a little bit better out of Cure, but still, honestly, he's getting butchered, man. He's actually just getting butchered by Maximus Paximus. Cure switching it up. Goes for the Barracks Factory Starport. Second barracks. It's going to be a good setup here for him, most likely. Quick tank once more. Is that actually his plan? Fast? No, he doesn't have a fast third refinery. It is going to be a quick tank. Ooh, this is a missed adept shape. Even the greats make mistakes. I always enjoy seeing that. What do we have over here? Hellion entering the main base. We might have gotten a probe kill here. Yeah. Adept also went down. So really, when we look at this type of unit loss tab, 2 SCVs, 1, right? This is fairly even. This Zealot represents some eco as well that was lost by building it, so I think Cure's going to be okay with his position as he pretty much hard pivots into the most standard type of opener. My man is really out there playing freaking Reaper single gas into tank Raven. Like, this is very, very respectable. I love this type of stuff, personally. I think it's great. This is also, by the way, considered an anti-3-gate build due to there not being a mine drop. So this Raven, it feels very late. Now, that is because it is very late. This Raven hits at an extremely late time, but that is completely okay. Why is that completely okay? Because the time it's going to hit, Maxpax is going to be halfway across the map with everything. There shouldn't be batteries anywhere, and that means it can actually have some free game over here. At the same time, because you're not building mines, you have much faster tanks. So 2 tanks are in position. So it's just a fun situation to be in. Double tank shooting! Maxpax blinks in like an absolute, like a baboon almost. I've seen baboons be significantly more careful when jumping onto stuff, as Marines are going to be chasing this army. SCVs are going to fall. Raven Man is not doing the harassment. This is the beauty of multitasking, is that it's best when multiple things are happening. Imagine an auto turret here getting 4 or 5 kills. Would have been great, as another Stalker is going to fall here as well. Now it comes in, but yeah, now Maxpax is ready, and these 3 Stalkers are going to double volley that auto turret. The setup coulda, woulda, shoulda been so good, but it ends up being pretty freaking poor here for Cure, who does have this thing kind of locked in between Marine setups. But it's not really locked, especially now that the Marines move away. It's going to attack. He wanted to attack. That was a crazy move and a half, let me tell you. That was a crazy move and a half, as a lot of these Marines are falling pretty rapidly. We have a group of Marines over here as well. We have 2 tanks and 5 Marines now moving across the map. Together with the Raven. This has to be one of the most disjointed attacks that I've seen in my entire life. There's a 3rd base behind it. We still haven't dealt with the 4 Stalker threat in our main base. Prism now is being attacked. Is this going to be a real attack? This feels like such a fake move out. Like, this is the fakest of move out. Yet Maxpax needs to respect it. His charge is about halfway done. He only has 3 gateways. He has a robo facility. I think maybe we even recall this. We're not even entirely sure. Okay, we're going to pull back. But he's lost so many SCVs and so many Marines due to that fake move out. He could have just kept like a tank in position over here, a tank in position over here, and Marine split somewhere else. That is, however, not what Cure did, as now this, yeah, I mean, this Prism is just escaping. We don't have a Viking on the way. Our third CC is coming out. Do we have a Templar Archives? No, there is no Templar Archives behind this. This is just pretty much naked Zealot, Stalker, Sentry, Immortal. No type of splash in the mix. It's going to be a very, very late TA over here. The Prism gets recalled back home. Could use it later, of course, to fly in with a Zealot run-by, which is usually what happens in these types of cases. Stalkers just kind of roaming around the map as pilots are trying to provide some vision here around. 60 workers to 49. This, unironically, would be a great time to pull the boys. Like, Cure is not aware of that, but if you were to pull like 20 workers right now, without Storm being out, against a pure Zealot army, I'd love it. I absolutely would love it, but for now the SCVs do stay at home, wanting to work hard. It's respectable in and by itself. As a single Zealot here smacking some of these SCVs around. Here come the boys. One more Zealot runs into the third base as the Prism flies into the main. And we'll go absolutely ham right now. Here comes a big stim in forward. This is not that big of an army defensively for Maxpax, by the way. Has quite a bit of supply on the other side of the map. High ground is vulnerable as well. Good pullback on the Zealots here. Maxpax is playing this careful. Needs to still be careful, though. Because this army can die before the rest of the army goes in. Tanks in the back dealing a lot of damage. Probes being pulled into the mix as well. At the same time, on the other side of the map, Zealots have pretty much rampaged that main base. As this tank is eventually gonna get sniped. No, it won't. Cure at 104 supply against 79. Despite having a relatively poor early game, or at least what felt like a relatively poor early game, is just gonna walk in here and absolutely smash Maxpax. Now, the previous game also was a big smash. And then Maxpax managed to make a comeback. This time, however, it's going to be a little bit tougher, because Max is going to be down a base rather than on even bases. Templar in the back with Storm, actually. He's going to try to get a big fat Storm on here. We have a flanking Templar as well, and that potentially will push this back temporarily, but the reinforcements are running across the map. There are no more Storms remaining, and that most likely means the end of Maxpax as we know it. This third base under some heavy fire. Templar moving in is going to get sniped. We'll cast one last Storm, and that, my dear friends, is most likely going to be it here on Ultra Love. 100 supply against 47. Maxpax can make magic happen, but not with these little resources, okay? Needs a little bit more than that. Can maybe still make a coin disappear from behind your ear, but that's going to be it. Or appear from behind your ear. Single Zealot warp in, and this is a move. One single Zealot or 64 army supply of Cure. I don't quite know where we're staying in the game. You can see that it's 3 base. He must not respect Cure. This is what people do against me when they play. It's like, Harstem at 195 supply. I still have 23. We might be capable of making the comeback, but this is insane. He's gonna go for, I guess, a base trade with one Zealot. Usually hasn't done very well in the past, the one Zealot base trade. Perhaps today is going to be different. I love how careful Cure is being. It's like, I don't want to mess this up again. Previous game also was a win. This Zealot is dealing an extraordinary amount of damage for just being a single Zealot and a Prism and nothing else going on. Getting 3 SCV kills total is wild. No Storms available, and I think this should just be it. And there we go, one more Storm. And one more Storm that hits absolutely nothing. 99 supply to 47. I don't understand how Maxpax is getting efficient trades here. But he is doing it somehow, some way. The Zealot goes back into the main base. This guy, what the hell is he up to, man? What are we cooking here, brother? Oh, mine is gonna connect. And that really should be it this time around. As GG gets called and Cure wins game number 2 on Ultra Love. Phenomenal 2 games out of Cure, by the way. Hypothetical, theoretical. 2-0 already. Like, this is actually match point, despite the score saying 1-1. And Cure playing 3 different build orders here in a row. We started with that triple CC, which worked. Then we had the previous tank into Raven build, which also worked. And now we're going to have a gas first into barracks eBay block, which, well, we're going to have to wait and see if it's going to work. But at least it's going to be a nuisance here for Maxpax. Maxpax is going to, as always, he always does this quite late. He does not like sending their probes down early. So if you eBay block Maxpax, you know you're going to get the eBay block down. Like, that is a given. Maxpax wants to take the line base. Cure wanted to block the triangle. I wonder if it's better to block the triangle than to block the line. But maybe Cure has some nefarious plans over here. Factory position, by the way, is kind of betraying the build order. If I'm scouting this as a Protoss player, I'm feeling a Reactor Hellion here big time. Actually feeling Reactor Hellion here big time. Seeing this SEV come down is great as well, because then you know most likely it's not going to be with a proxy starport. Because otherwise that SEV usually stays on the map somewhere. But yeah, for Hellion, this is such a great build order. It actually is such a great build order. And there's two reasons for why this is such a great build order. Reason number one is whenever you have this, you need to build blind batteries. Like, that is a given. Like, blind batteries, yes, you have to, 100%. If you're not doing that, you're going to be in trouble against even just the first two Hellions. And then your bases are split. So it's really difficult to have enough units to deal enough damage to 4 Hellions. If you're playing Twilight Council, before Warpgate finishes up, you're going to have maybe, 3 units total. So you have 3 units, you need to split them in such a way that you're defending 2 bases that are very far apart. That's close to impossible. Sometimes you see people build a sentry in the main base so they can force field the ramp, then have like a Adept Stalker in the natural. But for starters here, we're going to have I think it was a single Marine kill here maybe. This Adept's taking a lot of damage. I wonder if Cure's planning on chasing this. It is definitely possible that he plans on chasing this. There you go. Oh, Maxpax is not going all the way back. That could cost him. That is going to cost him, actually. That is -1 Adept. That is painful. Stalker is going to move in and will potentially get an SEV kill, or is just going to die straight up. 4 Hellions. Oi, oi. I said it was going to be hard to deal with this threat with just 3 units. Now let's talk about how hard it's going to be if you just have a single unit. It's not just going to be hard. It's going to be close to impossible, my dear friends. Close to impossible over here. Look at this. 4 Hellions, single Stalker. Where's that Stalker? In between bases. We kind of have a pylon semi-in between as well. I think a sentry warping in the main base probably would have been the best thing you can do, although it wouldn't have even been in time. Yeah, this is going to cost him so many workers. 4 Hellions unleashed in the main base with just a single Stalker around. Good luck, my dear friend. You're not going to have a great time here, let me tell you. 10 workers falling. Make that 11. Make that 11. 11 workers going down. Full scout on the gas. And one could say, well, at least Maxpax has the ability to counterattack, right? No, he doesn't. No Robo, no Prism. So the only counterattack possibility is maybe warping in a sentry. If you warp in a sentry, you hallucinate, you can blink into the main base at least. Or you can blink past the bunker, but that's not going to be possible due to the tank's existence. So I would expect this not to be a Robo for a Prism. Because it will be too slow. It will be way too slow. It's going to hit, 6 minutes in game, the Prism. Like 5 minutes and 45 seconds. It is simply too slow. So most likely it's going to be a Nexus here. An Observer out of the robotics facility. Yeah, and we're going to build a sentry as well. This to me seems extremely logical out of Maxpax. He analyzes the situation and realizes that he's in a terrible spot. And the only way he can deal damage is through the help of a hallucination. Yeah, it's going to use the recharge. To me, this makes a lot of sense. This is absolutely the correct play. Like, waiting for a Prism would take so long, and by the time you're hitting, like, Stim is going to maybe be halfway done. There's going to be a lot of Marines out, maybe even 2 Marauders as well. A tank per base. This is going to hit a little bit quicker. Maybe you can clear something if you can kind of run to the left side. It's going to get at least 1 SCV. I think Maxpax is very afraid of committing too deeply, though, because the Marine count is okay as well. 1 Stalker goes down. 3 Marines have fallen already. Make that 4 Marines. 4 Marines for a Stalker. Generally a good trade, but I think Cure is going to be okay with this as well. Maxpax still in a god-awful position. Needs to do something special here to kind of make it back into the game. Like, it's something really special. There's going to need to be Disruptors. Dark Shrine. Don't mind it. Dark Shrine is kind of the went behind Dark Shrine, the old and tried method. But it sometimes works, so I do understand it. And the plan here is going to be very simple. It's not going to be easy, but it's going to be a simple plan. Stalkers on the map to try and delay the push out. Prism with DTs going into the main natural and in between at the same time. You hope there's not going to be any turrets. And then your goal as a Protoss player is to keep the Terran at home. So you go pretty high on the worker count on all your bases. You're basically hoping you can delay your opponent's attack long enough. And if you can do that, sometimes you can win. This is going to be such an interesting little thing. And I really want to kind of watch first person here on Cure. Because he's going to be the one that gets surprised. It's the most fun to, you know, to look at the first person of people getting surprised. Okay, he's having a blast. Double drop. Let me send that to the bottom. I'm very far ahead, lol. He's gonna try to catch these stalkers that are waiting for the move out. Look at that poof. Cure plays quite slow when it comes to screen per minute, but I like watching this. This is very relaxing. Okay, here we go. This comes in. Oh, Max. Oh, you got caught. You got caught. That is -3, -4 stalkers. Oh, very decent stuff going down here. DTs now are being spotted. Cure does have 2 scans available, starts a turret instantly. And the goal here should be to run across the map with your main army ASAP. Yep, there we go. Nice. Very solid decision making. Does not fall for the trap of running back home to deal with DTs with the entire army, because you don't need that. You have enough production here at home. We have 1 more scan available to deal with this DT as well. So that's going to be quite useful. At the same time, we have a main army going into the natural right now. Where is Maxpax's army? Lots of Zealots, 2 Immortals, slightly out of position though. Is going to try to run in. Guardian Shield not quite in position. Good pick up on the tanks. Marauders on the tanks fall off on the wrong side of the road here. Not capable of falling on top of the rock, of course. New Zealot warp in as well into the main. We'd love to see a single DT here, but we do get the preemptive scan, so Cure's mind was in the gutter just like mine. Thinking of DTs. As this is going to be a hypothetical 3-0 victory here for Cure. In reality, he's only going to be up 2-1, but good lord, what a series so far out of the Korean Terran. Build order-wise, absolutely perfect. Maxpax getting out strategized here so far in this series. It's been sad to watch as a true Maxpax enjoyer. Mechanically, he is phenomenal, right? I actually think he is probably one of the most gifted mechanical players at the moment. If not just the most gifted. The one thing seemingly holding him back is his relative predictability to compare to other players. Especially as a Protoss is going to be a little bit of an issue. Like, if you compare him mechanically to Hero, like, he is significantly faster. He's significantly better. His unit control is insane. His mid-game, late-game decision-making is so freaking good. Just feels like the predictability is a real issue. Someone like Cure is just abusing that over here. Although Maxpax now is going to be changing it up. Nexus before core. So that is a significant, yes, let me say it. That is a significant switch up here from previous games. Absolutely. Nexus before core usually indicates a want for a more gas-centric approach. And that could be going into Stalker Sentry. It could also mean a Stargate. Albeit somewhat unlikely. Stargates have not been popular due to them being bad. Yeah. That's a major issue with the tech. Is that it sucks. It's not good. So I'm fully expecting a Stalker Sentry here coming out of Max. Has scouted as well. Saw that there was a fast CC. I'm really curious what the Cure wanted to rush out a Cyclone here. That's kind of sexy. I think Cure's plan was to catch that Adept, maybe. Perhaps. Possibly. I don't quite know what the plan was, but this looks cool as hell. Dude, he's gonna be rushing out them tanks or Cyclones, whatever the hell it's gonna be. He's gonna hit like a truck. You do have a Sentry though, right? Yeah. Sentry with the hallucination. Energy recharge has been cast. As our good friend Phoenix is gonna be moving across the map. Starport comes down as well. So that's a second barracks. This is an insanely fast second Rex, by the way. You can do this because you're not building any Marines out of a reactor. So you have some money left over. It feels weird and you have low supply, but you're going to get a really fast extra barracks. That allows you for quick pushes as well as a result of it. Maxpax most likely is going to follow this up with I'd say a 3-gate. I think a 3-gate is just absolutely correct over here. This worker moves over to the third base, see if we can get anything done. There's no batteries out quite yet. He's gonna lose a worker, but kills a Reaper. I think that's a trade you probably take as a Protoss player. We're gonna move into fast stim. This is one of these kind of uncommon builds that's gonna hit at an offbeat timing. The goal here for Cure is definitely to stop any major scouting from happening. It's gonna go for an extremely late 4 Marine Cyclone drop. Also kind of a weird build, given the situation that we're in, but we don't have a battery in the main base. Blink isn't done quite yet, and Stalkers are awfully far out on the map. Maxpax, I think, might be misreading this situation a little bit. For whatever reason, he's most definitely misreading this. Gateways are available for Warpins, so we're going to get 3 Stalkers in the main base. That is timed extraordinarily well, so we get a hallucination on the 2 Stalkers and a Guardian Shield. That's cute. 4 Stalkers now moving across. This felt scary for a second, but it's actually Maxpax who's outplaying his opponent here. 5, 6 workers being taken out, 7 workers being taken out. Maybe goes for a Marine here as well. No, doesn't want to risk it. Oh, that was a beautiful set of moves here out of Maxpax. I got really afraid there for that Marine Cyclone drop, but I shouldn't have been. Maxpax knows exactly what he's doing. He knows those timings so freaking well. He knew that his Warpin was going to be in time in the main base for this, and he had that Guardian Shield plus Hallucination to help himself out. So, great little start here for the packs. As the Forge is coming out right now, we have the Robotics facility is about to finish up as well. And we're going into a more standard approach once more out of Maxpax. Just kind of these naked gateway units without any type of splash. Feels like with splash, you know, you have a gateway setup that can deal with a lot of things. Which you have Storm or some Colossi, but SCV pools are always a scary prospect when you're playing, you know, without any type of splash. Something you definitely need to keep in mind. Ooh, we get a defensive scan. And a Marine drop that's heading out towards the left side. That's a wasted scan if I've ever seen one. Combat Shield coming in. This is an interesting scout as well. So you see 3 barracks producing, one of them without anything, and you see a starport without anything. I'd be afraid. I'd be very scared right now to add any type of extra tech, to really invest into anything that isn't just stuff right here, right now. So we get a small stim forward, wanting to maybe catch some of these Stalkers. They are kind of low, maybe wanting to heal up. There we go. Gonna blink back into this. This Observer's just barely gonna miss this push out. Might just see the SCVs move across the map though, and indeed will. Okay, let's see. Zealots. That's what we're building right now. No supply block for Maxpax as a Robo Bay is going down. Extra gateways being added into the mix, which is kind of wild. Charge finishing up in a second or so. Let's see, what can we do over here? No combat shield done quite yet. No +1 either. SCVs need to be in the front. Cyclone moves towards the back. This is extremely scary right now for Maxpax, because without splash and with an SCV wall, Marines are gonna pack a serious punch. Tanks sieging up, all 3 at the same time. Will target down that sentry at an instant. Is now the target firing, moves on over to the Stalkers. Marine count is still solid, and Maxpax in a world of trouble here. 4 tank has sieged up at this point as well. All 3 in the back are now unsieging. This is kind of scary, as the tank is shooting the assimilator. Huge missed target fire out of Cure. But Cure in a great position, up in army supply. Probes are being pulled. Zealots coming in with a flank. Combat shield finished up at this point. Immortals are being targeted down. Stalkers being targeted down. 16 workers falling. But the tanks are going to get cleaned up, although reinforcements now show up. Immortal most likely will fall here as well. These Stalkers being cleaned. +1 about to be ready for Maxpax. Oi. What an absolutely terrible setup here. Absolutely terrible setup here for Cure right now. He does not have the Marines anymore to kind of burst through. We have 9 gateways for Maxpax. No upgrades. No nothing. I think we're going to wait for our next set of SCVs to be pulled off the line. Yeah, there we go. It's going to be 7-8 SCVs, but it's not going to matter, as Maxpax is going to crush this force big time. That was sick. 5 barracks are here, so the production is solid. The production is stellar. And we're going to pull a couple more workers. No, they're going to get pulled back. We're not actually going to pull them aggressively. I think Cure right now isn't entirely sure how well his opponent is equipped of going into a macro game. Like, what is the actual worker count? That is a question that's probably on his mind. That's why he's sending these SCVs back home. He's like, hey, maybe I can actually outscale him here with the unit production. And it's pretty close when it comes to income, but Maxpax is fine as these zealots now charge in. There are some marines, there are some tanks here. As one zealot goes down for free, the second one is not going to really survive either. This is going to get cleaned up momentarily. I think Maxpax is in a good enough spot. The complete lack of upgrades is definitely hurting Cure. Like, if you have +1 here, that's great. If you can get up to like 3 tanks and there's no thermal lens and no second Colossus, that is also kind of fine. But if you only have a single tank and there's going to be a Colossus against a pure marine army, that's 2 tanks actually. Sieging up is going to be really tricky. I think that is going to be a serious task. Ooh, the double drop now heads into the main base. One medevac does get cleaned up. These marines not having +1 is such a huge deal here. Like, these fights, they change so much when they do have +1. As the Colossus here is set up together with the Guardian Shield. Tanks not quite siege up and might even fall before they get any major shots off. There we go. Immortal helping out massively. This is going to get pushed back temporarily. Guardian Shield, though, is once again huge against the Marines. The Colossus will not survive, but neither will all of these Marines. And Maxpax is going to be tying up the series here in this best of 5. Feels like Maxpax changes up for the first time and Cure immediately kind of struggles there. And it still ends up being a close game. But it's nice to see Maxpax capable of, you know, mixing it up. So Cure seems to be going back to what he did in game number 3, I believe it was, with the eBay block. Gas first into barracks. Quick little eBay down here. And we're cooking, boys. I wonder if the follow-up is going to be similar here as well with that double Hellion type of stuff. Or sorry, quadruple Hellion type of stuff. Maxpax going back to his roots with the fast core before Nexus and is harassing a little bit on the other side. Cure blocking the triangle. Cure really has a mind for blocking the triangle. He does not want the triangle to be taken. It's funny because most Protoss players always would try and take the line, I think. Although we do see Maxpax here attempting to go for the triangle. We'll see the SCV there and decide to go to the left. It's actually going to delay his pylon significantly. Look at this. So you want to build the pylon over on your natural base. But he's not quite going to be capable of doing this. So he has to start a pylon over here on top of the ramp right now. Gets the Nexus as well. We have a second gas coming in. This is a very different type of build order. This build order is as different as it can be. I am almost suspecting this to be a proxy starport here. But that's just, suspicion would be wrong, because that's not at all the case. But this is a second gas before the command center. So perhaps a 1-1-1 type of all-in. There is no pylon here, so this would be really tough to hold. We're going to get a second barracks. This is indeed going to be a 1-1-1 all-in. Oh, this is cute. Straight up tech lab. Are we going to get a third barracks? No, it's going to be a starport. So second barracks, factory, starport. It's going to be a tank, medevac, marine all-in most likely. Without combat shield, without stim. Just boom, straight as we go. Might be a cyclone first, actually. Yeah, it's going to be a cyclone first. Because you want to deny some of that scouting. No low ground CC is suspicious, but it's not crazy suspicious. It's like, okay, it is absolutely possible that that CC is on the high ground, right? That is absolutely possible. I think you don't even really want to show that you have Marines at this point. Follow-up is going to be another adapt. I am so curious how Maxpax is going to deal with this, because this is actually going to be really freaking tough. Medevac is coming out. Marine production hasn't started yet. Cure doesn't actually have the cash for this. I wonder if medevac before siege tank is correct here, by the way. It's hard to say. This adapt's going to take a little bit of damage. Quite a bit of damage. Tank now on the way. These units are moving across the map. There's no battery yet. There's not even a pylon at this moment. This could actually be an issue as these two Marines wanted to fight and realized that maybe they don't want to fight. So we have a medevac now coming out. Can he heal this up? Can definitely pick this up if he needs to. Cyclone's gonna come back. We'll clear this adapt. Battery needs to be constructed here ASAP. We have 2 more gates on the way. Gonna go up to 4 gates total. This is just an all-out... What is he doing? Oh. An all-out 1 base all-in out of Cure. He has so many interesting builds. Let's see if this is gonna work. Maxpax is unaware of what is happening exactly. He knows that something weird is going on, but he probably can't quite put it in words yet. He doesn't understand exactly what is kicking off right now. These SCVs are dropping. Tank shows up as well. Currently we have 5 Stalkers without Blink against a crap ton of Marines, a tank and a Cyclone. And so far a lot of units for Cyclone Men are staying alive. Battery is empty. Recharge not available. That's the end of the battery over here. This Adept is doing God's work. So we get a big Blink in forward. Tank in a world of trouble. The medevac is gonna get targeted down here. Probe's doing a lot of work as well. Liberator shows up, but it is too late as Maxpax is going to be holding this push fairly simply. A great build order out of Cure, but an even better defense out of Maxpax, who responds honestly as perfect as can be. GG gets called as Maxpax wins this series, which perhaps he should have lost 3-0.